Today I have this 2014 BMW 328D. We're going to be talking about why you might want to choose this car over a traditional gas-powered 3 Series, what makes this car special. We're going to be going over some of the features that this car has, and then at the end of the video we'll take it for a drive. Alright, starting with the walk around of the car, you can notice just how aggressive the front end is. Definitely doesn't look like your typical 3 Series, and that is because of the M Sport package. You get that different front bumper, you get these M Sport wheels, which are 18-inch style 400 wheels. You also get this different rear bumper, and you can see this is just a great looking car. This is personally probably my favorite generation 3 Series. Let me know which generation you guys like the best. This one has definitely grown on me, and I think it's easy to say why. This is just a very sleek, good looking car. Alright guys, so you'll notice we have a couple different buttons on the steering wheel. First and foremost, we have these two blank buttons which do not do anything. On an M3, for example, you would have an M button here, and then I think possibly another M button here to set different drive modes. On here they're just blank. So if we start over here, will be your cruise control. This button is what activates it. This is how you go up and down in speed. You can go just up by 1 mile per hour, or if you hold it you could go up by, I believe, 5, and then obviously set and resume. On this side, this is pretty much all of your controls for the radio. Up and down for volume, of course. This is voice command, which I don't think anybody uses because it's pretty outdated. And then you press this button, you will see a list of contacts that you can call easily in there, and you use this button to control pretty much all of the features. So this iDrive that we have in this car is definitely a lot more updated than the previous generation, and this one is still pretty old. It's starting to show its age for sure, but it still works really great for just basic features. And I'll show you guys some things that are kind of funny and worth noting. If you go into navigation here, there's a menu here called Point of Interest, and it'll actually show you the closest BMW service center to you. So you can see this one's 9.5 miles away, 9.6. So just in case you're on a road trip or something, you break down, you always know where the closest BMW store is. Put your finger on here. It's actually touch activated. And you can assign different stations, and I believe you can assign different some other different settings on here too. So if you notice me just swiping my finger on there, that's something that a lot of people probably don't know. Then underneath your radio controls, we have our climate controls here. So pretty simple stuff here. I will mention this little dial, which is, as far as I know, just a BMW thing. Basically, whichever way you point this dial kind of controls the temperature in the vehicle. So if you point it this way, it's going to be colder, and you point it that way, it's going to be more warm. So you could have this on, let's say, 84, like I have it on now, and if you have this all the way over on cold, it's actually going to be blowing out cold. It's going to override the temperature that you have down there. So that's something worth noting. Okay, if we look down here, we have a couple different buttons here. So this first one being a car with some squiggly lines and an off button. That would be how you turn your traction control off, which you will get a warning light there. And also another warning light here and there saying that your traction control off. So making sure that you know your traction control is off. And to turn it back on, you just simply press it. Then we have two buttons here, Sport and Eco Pro. So pretty simple and self-explanatory. Press up to go into Sport, and then you have a Sports Plus mode. And something worth mentioning here, with your iDrive controller here, you'll have a little icon. You press down on this, it will bring you to your sports display, and you'll have a live gauge reading of power and torque. Sitting in the back seat, you can see I'm sitting very comfortable, and I'm about 6 foot, and I have plenty of room. And I also have my own heated seats back here, which is a great little option. I have my own climate control vents back here, same little dial as up front. I have a cigarette outlet right here, and I also have this little table tray that has 2 cup holders. So very comfy back here, nothing crazy, but definitely keep your passengers comfortable. Okay guys, driving the 328D. So, I mean, first and foremost, most important thing, I would say probably a big selling point that most people are going to be looking at buying this car is because it does get incredible gas mileage, or miles per gallon I should say, since it's diesel. I do average probably about 35 to 40, maybe a little bit higher on highways, probably around 45 to 50 I would even say. On a full tank I get about maybe 500 miles per gallon. So, you know, and the world we live in today, where fuel can be very expensive, a lot of people are getting electric cars and what have you, and this could be a good alternative for you if you're looking to get something that's not electric but still gets really good fuel mileage and is still fun to drive. And by no means is this car really fast. You know, it's definitely slower than the 335 and the 340. I would go to say it might be faster than the regular gas 328. You have a lot of bottom end torque, and if you do want to drive it fast, that's how you kind of have to drive it. You have to give it a lot of gas, you know, in every gear in the bottom end to get it going fast, and then anything past 3,000 RPM, it just seems like the torque drops off and you're just kind of struggling for power. But driving around in comfort mode, you know, it feels kind of sporty, but nothing too crazy. Definitely not as much as the higher trim model 3 Series, I would say. I'd say 335 and 340 are definitely a little bit more tight, but it still handles, you know, as you would expect a 3 Series to handle, especially of an M package. I do believe you do get different suspension, a little bit tighter, and then of course you have your different drive modes. So if we put it in sport, you'll see it automatically drops a gear down when you go into sport, which can be kind of annoying. My biggest complaint with it is I like the way that the car feels in sport mode better in comfort, because it tightens up the steering and it also tightens the suspension up a little bit too. In comfort, it's pretty floaty, a lot of body roll going through corners and whatnot. You put it in sport, it kind of cuts that down quite a bit, and the steering's more heavy, which is what I prefer. But problem with that is it's just geared more aggressively, and for regular driving around town, that can be kind of frustrating sometimes. So that's probably my biggest complaint about sport mode. I wish that I could fine-tune it more like the M cars and just have the tight suspension and steering feeling without being so aggressive with the shifting. Pretty much the wrap of the 2014 328D. Let me know what you guys think. If you found any value to this video, please give us a subscribe and a like, and yeah, see you on the next one.